Happy Sunday, guys. So I've really been pushing the message of that buying leads is a waste of your money. And for almost 2 years now, I've been talking about this. If you're buying leads, it's just a waste of money because it requires you to call people back. Okay? So if you're new to either telesales or maybe you're a field guy, but you're being required to pick up the phones, this applies to you. If you're a hardcore door knocker that does not pick up the phones because you're a true door knocker, this has no application for you. And why is it a loss? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my experience. I'm on the phone every single day, Monday through Friday, working inbounds, personally selling insurance, as well as training others doing the same function. On top of this, I sell and generate inbound leads, thousands a month, of people looking for a final expense quote. So these are real-time leads of folks looking for a quote right now. And believe me when I tell you that when these people call in and we're in mid-conversation with them and they hang up the phone or we have a tech issue and we call them back, 90% plus don't pick up the phone. On a daily basis, I have over 60 to 100 follow-up phone numbers in my sales pipeline that I call every single day because I understand very well that the fortune in this business is in the follow-up. And what do we discover? Again, over 90% of people don't pick up the phone. It doesn't matter if you have a different caller ID, which is now illegal. Doesn't matter. Whatever gimmick you're using, people aren't picking up the phone. On top of this, you got the new software, iOS 26. One of the main features in stopping unsolicited phone calls is that it will block calls that are not saved on the actual phone. So if you're calling someone back that's never heard from you ever, chances are that your number's now going to be blocked. But let me give you guys some numbers here this morning so you can understand why it is that I say what I say, okay? And if you're new, you're going to find out real quick that people don't pick up the phone when you call to make a presentation or you call to set up an appointment. They just don't pick up. So how does that affect you? How does that affect your cost? Well, let me break down some numbers for you, okay? So let's say that every week, minimum, you got to talk to 25 people, okay? Talk to. Not a lead and a name. In order to have success, you got to at least talk to 5 people a day, Monday through Friday at least, 25 people a week. So we can agree that that's a good benchmark, right? 25 people. So how many leads would it take for you to talk to 25 people if 90% of these folk don't pick up the phone when you call them back? And if you don't believe me, I challenge you to figure out how many people are picking up your calls, and you're going to see that over 90% don't pick up. But let's just say 90% don't pick up. Well, let's just go down the different types of categories of leads that are out there today. First one is the cheap lead that you can buy from Facebook, age lead, anything under 90 days, you can buy it for $1, $2, but let's just say you can get that lead for $2. And you need to talk to 25 people a week. Well, you would need to buy 250 leads with the thought process that 10% are going to pick up the phone and you're just going to have a conversation. Well, at that point, your cost would be approximately $10 for those 25 people that picked up the phone. But let me tell you something about those cheap leads. They have tons of phone numbers that are disconnected. You got a lot of bots. So it's not realistic to buy 250 of those numbers expecting that 10% is going to be real. You're going to find out that those leads, again, you're going to need a lot more to make up for all of those messed up numbers, bots, etc. The second lead, let's say you get a lead at a sale of $10 and you need 250 of those. Well, that's going to cost you on your credit card $2,500. And again, 90% of them are not going to pick up once you start dialing. And that 10% that does is going to cost you $100 to talk to those 25 people each. Do the math. What if you're buying $25 Facebook leads? And again, you need 250 at least to talk to 25 people. Again, why? 90% or more of these people don't pick up the phone. Again, I'm on the phones every single day. I got over 130 agents on the phone every day. The numbers don't lie. If someone's telling you other and encouraging you to buy more leads, I promise you those people are not on the phones. Or they're on the phones, but they got a database of numbers that are so massive and they're blasting numbers all day long that then you get into TCPA violations, DNC violations, and all this other stuff that we'll talk for another day. But right off the top, if you're paying $25 for a Facebook lead, you buy 250 of those leads. Okay, you got a number, a name. That's 6,250 for those what? 250 leads. And if only 10% of those people pick up the phone, let's say in the first 2 weeks, that's 25 people. That's 250 per conversation. Now, let's talk about preset appointments. Preset appointments, the way they work is you front load the ad spend. So for this example, let's say you're spending $1,800 a week on Google ads, Facebook ads. You're driving tons of traffic. One thing about preset appointments is I can book you 24 hours. It's not very hard to get people to book an appointment with all the bells and whistles, with your picture and all this and all that. But let me tell you what, many people don't show up for their appointment. But if only 10% of them made the appointment and you got, again, 25%, 25 people to talk to, your lead cost would be about $72 per conversation. But what about TV? $60 television leads. Again, you got to call them back. If you took 250 of those to make 25 conversations, that's $15,000 for 250. And your cost to talk to these people would be $600 to talk to somebody just about what they called in for, which was final expense. That's why I always say that, $50 per inbound that we charge our agents and our clients is nothing compared to when you look at the bigger picture. Bottom line, people aren't picking up the phone. I hate to say it. If you're doing preset appointments, you can have the calendar be booked, but then find out the hard reality that when you start dialing those appointments that you have scheduled, that over 70% of those people don't show up. So what is your true cost? Well, I just ran it through. That's your cost. Then on top of this, the cost of your time. With us, we have a system in place that's designed to save you money at every level, especially that point of having to call people when people aren't picking up the phone. I do tons of policy reviews, and my clients take sometimes months to pick up the phone. And I ask them all the time, I'm like, what happened? And they tell me, oh man, I get bombarded all day long and I just put my phone on mute. So it's not necessarily our fault. It's just the fact that there's so many people being bombarded. So what is the cost per conversation that you're having? And the more conversations that you're having, the more money you're going to make. Simple math. But again, if you're buying leads to call them back, and I don't care if you're using AI or any fancy CRM, you're losing money. Hit me up and I'll put you to work every day and I'll bill you at $50 2-minute buffers. Peace.